Hi, and welcome to this second episode in this series of podcasts produced for Iridescent Ideas. In this episode, we're going to hear from Dirk Roeder from the Dartington School for Social Entrepreneurs. Hi Dirk, it's Dave Clark here. How are you?
I am very well, David. Is this line okay? So my name is Dirk Roeder and I head up the School for Social Entrepreneurs at Dartington. We at SSE, we want to see a world, that is kind of more equitable, fair, inclusive, and we're kind of supporting those change makers that want to bring positive change about. And we believe that business can be a force for good. It can be a force for positive change.
What kind of businesses are you working with?
It's a wide variety of businesses. See, for us, social enterprise is not about a specific sector. It's about a specific motivation. It's a sense of purpose and alignment with that. And, it's a sense of, I suppose, responsibility towards the communities that the businesses operate in. And, there's a motive for change rather than for profit. So a social enterprise could be in any field. It could be retail, it could be manufacturing, it could be education, it could be service deliveries, it could be anything, really. And it usually, interestingly, social entrepreneurs are working in areas, in markets, in sectors where mainstream business doesn't see a profit and where the public services and public sector has withdrawn from, mainly due to lack of funding, particularly over the last 10 years.
What are the areas that you provide support with?
Yes, so we work on a sort of methodology which is kind of based around the idea that learning comes with doing. And we realize that people generally know more than they think they do. And if we can facilitate group learning in the right way, then there can be a lot of mutual learning happening. People realize not just what they don't know, but they also realize what they do know. We're also bringing our entrepreneurs together with what we call witnesses, where they are spending some really quality, intensive time with other social entrepreneurs who are maybe a bit further down that journey and, who will talk about their own story. It's kind of warts and all situation where people can learn really from that experience and don't just hear about all the wonderful successes. We work with volunteers from the business community to bring sort of mentoring to those entrepreneurs. So we put them together with people who can be critical friends. And then lastly, we have been able to also offer entrepreneurs real cash grants at sort of startup level, but also for growth and development.
How do you see the challenges in the landscape panning out over the next few months?
Something has come up for me more and more over the years of doing this, and I've been sort of with SSE Dartington now for the last 10 years, is a real sense that, yes, our entrepreneurs are doing amazing stuff, and yet they are just tinkering around the edges. They're trying to make something work that inherently works against them and all of us. So there is an inbuilt inequality, there's an inbuilt unfairness, there's an inbuilt kind of extraction of profit from communities built into our economic system. And governments just haven't been able to sort of stem that tide. I think what this crisis has shown is that, our kind of free market economy is not building the substance that we need to keep communities, individuals, well and resilient. We haven't focused on that. We have focused on GDP, we have focused on profit. You read about, kind of bailouts for business, and people saying, hang on, this is a business that's kind of registered in a tax haven. Why should it be bailed out? Or you're talking about, okay, why would the government put all its money into business and not take a stake in these businesses and say, okay, we'll work with you, but, we'll share the profits. So I think there is some new thinking coming through, which I find quite exciting, where maybe this idea of the social economy, of social enterprise, where we're not working for profit, we're working with profit, and it's not profit for shareholders, it's profit for the whole of the community, including capital, but also, the kind of customers and the workers, everybody is kind of benefiting from the kind of wealth we are creating. I think it's very difficult for people now to say, oh, the wealth creators are the bosses, when actually I think we're seeing that the people that are currently creating the real wealth in our community, are the checkout people, the drivers, the binmen, the nurses, the care workers, those people that are operating there on very fragile employment contracts, on very low wages. They are the ones, that are keeping going and keeping everyone safe. So I want to be really kind of awake to the moments when it comes to, okay, how are we going to go forward? And what I'm looking for is a recognition that social enterprise, where business becomes a force for positive change, a real force for good, is going to be the mainstream. That is what we will be looking for. And that's what businesses will be judged on. Not just the quality of your product and service good, no, but how do you treat your workers? What are you doing with the profits that you're generating from the service you deliver to us? Where is that going? How is that being invested? All those kind of things must become more important.
Is there something that people can do to come together to sort of make this change happen?
I think, David, this is going to be a long process because we're not really used to having an active democracy. We're kind of used to just, giving our vote every 5 years and in between, kind of doing some local elections. Just being an active citizen, being an active participant in democracy, in government, in the way we shape our society, that is something we have not focused on. There is something, around just of waking up and saying, actually, I am worth more than this. And hopefully there will be a little more self-assertion, that, yes, I might be on a 0-hour contract, but actually my work is really bloody important.
Sure.
And, I deserve to be treated well. I deserve to be respected. I think if nothing else, but if there's a greater sense of community comes out of this, that'd be great. And if in response we're not looking for a sort of top-down control mechanism, we're now suddenly used to the government saying, okay, we'll invest. And, I don't think just because they put a lot of money into the COVID crisis emergency to say, oh, that's it, we've got no more money. If you check out sites like Positive Money, and look into how money is actually created, if the government needs money, it makes it. The Bank of England creates that money. One thing that's come out of it, I think, is that there is a role for government. That if you can't leave things to business alone, and that in itself, I think, is a great thing. It can happen. So let's not forget that.
Thank you very much, Dirk. I really appreciate your time.
You're very welcome.
Our thanks go to the Rank organisation for making this podcast possible. If you'd like to find out more about social enterprise, please follow the links in the show notes or just search Iridescent Ideas. This is a How production. Please share and subscribe.